Welcome to WesternSlopeNow.com. Meteorologist Russ Pappas here. I just want to take a brief moment to talk to you about red flag warnings. It's a rite of passage on the Western Slope for the spring months. Generally speaking, April will have its fair share of wind events, sometimes 2, sometimes 3 in 1 week's time. When we talk about red flag warnings, we talk about the element of wind and we talk about the conditions of the fuels. And when I say fuels, I'm talking about the natural grasses, the shrubs, the trees. Now, granted, mankind can be the ignition source, whether you have machinery that could spark and trigger a fire, whether you have a hot engine parked over dry grass that could ignite and spread a fire. You need to have wind to get it to spread, and when you have these conditions, which is what we're experiencing on this day in early April, red flag conditions, you're talking about wind speeds that are greater than 25 miles per hour, and you're also talking about humidity levels that are below 15%. That is dry, and we factor in the 2 main elements: critical fuel, critical weather. Let's talk about fuel for just a moment because very dry conditions exist. We've been in this drought, exceptional drought category along the Western Slope. Rain deficits for both Grand Junction and Montrose exist just beyond the 1 inch, the negative inch category. So we're behind greater than 1 inch in the rain bucket at the official measuring station at the airport. So you have your fuel concern, very dry conditions. You have relative humidity that's below 15%. Those are major elements for a red flag warning. The other element you need is wind. Now, when you think about a 12 to 24-hour period, if you have wind greater than 25 miles per hour for just 3 of those hours, then you've just met the criteria. Of course, you can also add frequent gusts above 25 mile per hour. Then you get the red flag warning. Under red flag warned conditions, generally speaking, county officials will prohibit open burning. That is, a lot of us like to burn our ag, grasses or debris piles. We can't do that under these burn bans, and certainly not under these red flag warnings. You start with a fire weather watch from the National Weather Service, and then 12 to 24 hours before the event, before the winds pick up, then you get that red flag warning. And of course, the county will piggyback off the National Weather Service and initiate their own burn ban. And when you have great wind speeds like that, the county recommends taking your yard waste that you would typically burn to the landfill. But when you have these strong winds, the landfill will close. So you need to check on that. Here we are at 22 miles per hour. That's a consistent wind speed just during the late Thursday afternoon hours. Now, our wind gusts have exceeded that, upwards to the 35 and 40 mile per hour zone, and this has been throughout Thursday afternoon. Now, timing on the critical weather element, which in this case is a frontal passage. A cold front's going to pass through, but I say cold front because it's not exactly a cold front. It will cool us down temperature-wise, but again, that has no bearing on the situation. The front itself is our wind generator, and it can sometimes be a storm generator as well. And when you have storms that cannot produce more than 1/10 of an inch, we qualify that as a dry storm, and those can be accompanied by lightning strikes. And there's the natural element, the lightning ignition source. So while humans can be the majority of the ignition source, we need to give credit to the natural world as well. It's just that the humans can prevent throwing their cigarette butts out. Humans can prevent working with hot machinery. So I just wanted to take that quick moment to talk about red flag warnings. It's a serious situation along the Western Slope. We live here, we recreate here, we don't want to burn the area up, and if we're careless, we will. Even accidents do happen. We just need to be mindful of the winds. You need to pay attention to your media sources. You need to pay attention to the National Weather Service. They are the official voice on this, but we here in the Storm Team, we're analyzing this data constantly, and when we get this information, we pass it on to you. We do it on many levels, many platforms, and the multimedia platform is just one of our favorites. Thanks so much.